Hello students, in previous lecture we have already installed Turbo C compiler. Today I will explain you structure of C program. Why structure of C program? To develop C program we must know structure of that program, how to develop C program. In this structure we will learn all these steps to implement a complete C program. So for the structure of the program, first step it is documentation section, second preprocessor section, third definition section, fourth global declaration, 5 main function, 6 user defined function. Now let me explain you all these sections one by one in detail. So look at their first section, it is documentation section. What do you mean by documentation? So when we think about documentation, it may be related to text file, it may be related to some text information. So what is the importance of text information this documentation in C program? When we are implementing any C program, at that time if any other person will check a letter on that program, so how they will know, how he or she will know which program it is? So one solution it is, we can write a aim of that program at the beginning of that same program. But as we know, compiler can compile only statements of the C program, and when we are writing any text information, compiler can't compile and it will throw an error. So there are two different ways to mention documentation we can say. I can say explanation. It is first one single line comment and second one it is double line comments. So there are two types of the comments. Single line comments we can define by using double slash, and multi-line comments, I said double line but we can say multi-line comment also. Multi-line comments we can define there, special symbols are there, it is slash star, and after that we can write that multiple lines over there. At the end of that explanation we have to put there star slash. These are single line comment and multi-line comments. Now after that second section, it is about to preprocessor section. Preprocessor we can say also use that link section. Link section, before that let me explain you, in the C program we will use built-in functions. So how we can use that built-in functions? Built-in functions already stored in specific header files. That header files also available with that setup. Right now we are using Turbo C compiler, so that compiler having specific header files. Inside that header files different functions are stored. But when we are implementing any program and we are using any built-in functions, at that time how compiler would know which function it is, what is the use of that function? So for the same function we have to include that specific header file in this section. This is a preprocessor section. So I am giving you one example. In the normally C program we are including a basic first header file, it is hash include stdir.h. So studio.h we can say standard input output.h. It is stands for header file, and standard input output it is name of that specific header file. This header file it consists input output related functions. So when we are using input output related functions, at that time we have to include that specific header file. This is normal example. So in this section we will add all the header files. After this section it is definition section. Normally in the C program we will use different variables, but sometimes we require constant. So at that time there are specific keywords, like one keyword it is define, hash define, that specific constant name is equal to that specific value. So this is the way to define that constant. In this definition section, we will define constant or similar type of the variables. Now come to the next section, it is global declaration. I used variable word. Why? Because of there are two types of the variable, global variable and local variable. Global, in simple way, I am just explaining you for your information. Whatever variables we are declaring outside of the main function, it is called global variable, and variables we are declaring inside main function, it is local variable. So global declaration, that means whatever variables we are declaring outside of the main function, it is called global variable, and we will define there, we will declare there in global declaration section. After that, it is about to main function. When we are implementing any program, so all the programs will not be same, all programs will be different, because of we are implementing programs for specific purpose. So I am giving you example. Let's suppose I am implementing one program for addition of two numbers. Second program I am implementing for subtraction of the two numbers. Third program I am implementing for multiplication of the two numbers. That means here I am having three different programs for different purpose: addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. So when we are implementing that program, we have to write their specific logic. For the addition, we have to write there, we have to type there. Here in programming, we will use that specific statements. For the addition, we will use plus symbol, subtraction we will use minus symbol. I mean the different logic we have to add in our code, we have to add in your program. So that logic we will write inside main function. So whatever number of statements we have to add, we have to use, that we will use inside main function only. I can say ki for the C program, main function it is a heart of program. Why? Because of whenever compiler will start a compilation of the program, it will always start from the main function. So whatever number of statements, whatever functions we are using, we have to include, we have to call inside main function. That will practically we will learn later on. Right now I am explaining you, this is main function. So and one more point, it is main function, for the same we will use curly braces. Whenever we will write in our program main, we will put their open curly bracket, after that we will put their code block, and then at the end we will close the same program by using closing curly braces. And a last section of the structure of program, it is user defined function. User defined functions, I already told you in the previous section in the same lecture, it is built-in functions. Now here I am using the word, it is user defined functions. See, there are lots of built-in functions available, but whenever we will implement a program like that in a function is not exist in compiler, might be possible we want to implement the program out of that function bound. So at that time we have to define specific user defined function. If our aim is different than existing function, at that time we have to create our own function. It is called user defined function, and that function we will write after the main function. That's it. It is all about structure of the C program. In the next lecture we will implement a simple C program. For the same we will follow the same structure, because of we have to follow it. Rules and regulations we have to follow, we have to use syntax rules, how to declare variable and all, we will learn in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.